Oh, I dread the onslaught of reality television. It's the Wilk Report. I'm Michael Wilk, coming back after a long time. And yes, it has been a long time, well over a year since my last uploaded video, but I've been busy with life, okay? I don't make any money off this channel. I lost monetization, so that means I have to get a day job. I also went back to school and finished my master's degree, so you can call me officially the Master of History, which is what my graduate major was in. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing videos again, hopefully on a regular basis, at least once a week on this channel, and then another one on my political channel once a week. So that'll be like 2 videos a week between 2 channels, fingers crossed, but we'll see. It really depends on my schedule and my job search and how that goes. So I'm going to do a quick couple of articles on this installment. What I wanted to touch on is the ongoing SAG-AFTRA strike, along with the writers' strike. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know that the Writers Guild of America went on strike in what was it, April or May of this year, and then last month the Screen Actors Guild and its sister union went on strike in solidarity because they are also getting fucked over by the studios. The days of most actors in Hollywood being able to make a decent living or becoming millionaires or at least in the upper economic bracket are long since over. Actors and writers really don't get paid shit anymore, and honestly, you can't make a living anymore in either of those unless you're really lucky. So yeah, so some of the demands that the studio has been making and some of the counter offers, they're just so ridiculous. One particular offer that really pissed off the Screen Actors Guild was okay, so background actors don't make any real money, okay? So that they rely on being extras and background characters as their primary source of income in the profession, all right? Otherwise they have to take on day jobs, all right? They don't make any real money off of that. Well, the studios, in order to save costs, wanted to make this offer. Is they'll pay a background actor for 1 day of work to scan your body, and then the studios get to use your likeness in background actor capacity in perpetuity, and you don't get paid for it. Who the fuck in his or her right mind is going to accept that kind of offer from the studios? Obviously it's going to be rejected. So and then of course Disney's Bob Iger, who's going through some troubles right now of his own that I'll get into with my next video, saying, oh, this strike isn't really helping matters. Gee, you think, Bob? You think? Jeez, what an out-of-touch motherfucker. I mean, you've got Disney movies flopping left and right. Indiana Jones 5 was a dismal failure. This is a dismal failure. Franchise, MCU is fizzling out, for reasons that have to do with having been around since 2008. Because if you really think about it, Kevin Feige had put together this phenomenon that honestly it really was kind of doomed to reach this point, because he started off building an arc, all right, a story arc that's building from a starting point, like with Iron Man and the Hulk in 2008, and then you build towards the Avengers movie, and then you continue like the Avengers series, culminating in Infinity War and Endgame. And then after that, it's all from there. Be delivered your and an epilogue. Repetitive, fired, streaming, doing very well audience. Shows are bad because Disney Plus lost a major contract for sports, and that was its primary draw for its audience. So once you lose a majority of your audience, well, you have to rely on original programming, and people don't come to Disney Plus to watch that, because it's not very good. So, Disney's in trouble, and Bob Iger is taking a lot of heat, and having this actors studio strike, uh, the Actors Union strike, the Writers Guild strike. If you can't produce content, you're fucked. And right now, there's indications that these studios are trying to wait out the actors and the writers, hoping to essentially starve them into submission. But when you've got a situation where writers and actors have gotten used to going a year and a half without getting paid and having to stretch what they're making across that span of time, and they come up with their own support system, to help each other out and help each other survive. Paid work, the studio in their face, something the residuals right now. The old every time you show education or the actor services to pay an F for repeat and writers are getting why mad. You've got for a job having to write quickly for what they're writing, and they're in a situation where they really are not given enough time to really develop a script before it has to be turned in. So they don't have time to polish anything. That's why a lot of these screenplays and teleplays that end up getting rushed into production, they really do come across as first draft writing, because that's exactly what it is. They don't have time to clean it up. Uh, so it's really stupid how they're going about all this. But let's go ahead and take a look at Deadline Hollywood. Because there's also AI, and let me pop this up. Okay, so SAG-AFTRA has handed out more interim agreements to film and television projects, including waivers featuring a new casting designation, an untitled Guy Ritchie film, and Destry Allen Spielberg's directorial debut, Please Don't Feed the Children, were among 5 films giving an interim casting agreement as of Thursday. This is the first time the union's interim agreement list has featured 2 designations. According to the SAG-AFTRA website where the list appears, these new designations allow members to audition or engage in negotiations regarding casting for these productions, but may not yet travel, rehearse, or otherwise begin rendering services for the production. So far, the Guild has granted 102 months through Thursday, waivers allow Alliance of Producer to film SAG-AFTRA, granted and could promote the film before its release. and yeah, the whole cast of Oppenheimer, which is one of the summer blockbusters this year, uh, walked out of the premiere screening because of the strike. Because under the terms of the strike, not only are actors not allowed to take uh, acting gigs, but they're not allowed to do any promotional events either. They're not allowed to talk about projects unless the union says you can, and because this is essentially a total boycott of the studios. So no acting in non-union productions or pretty much anything until the unions get their demands met. Uh, you can't do any promotions. You can't go to screenings. You can't go to conventions. You can't, or if you do, you can't talk about your projects or promote them in any way. And the reason for this is they're trying to hurt the studios where it counts, which is at the box office. And they're trying to hurt the streaming services where it hurts, which is in the clicks. So, if people aren't talking about stuff, they're not finding out about stuff either. All right, so basically, the writers and the actors have the studios by the balls, and the studios are run by out of touch, arrogant pricks who don't give a pocketbooks. They fucked around. So most home projects, other designate Super Ginsburg, a hand producers have lock-in kicks because agents to read, since they need with talent ahead of the latest designed to waivers were at the strike and occasions them. National Chief Negotiator Ireland don't have any prints on an agreement. Create a deadline interim agreement. They may have studios and the pictures in this, noting our last KTP on negotiation. Yeah, those really should read the idea writers with intelligence go to places like supermarkets. That's what they're trying to do with writers and actors. And that would truly be the end of Hollywood as we know it, because without writers and actors, you've got programs, and they're not very well programmed. Uh, but we've reached a level of disconnect where the greed in Hollywood has become so intense that there's a disconnect, and the studio's heads are just out of touch. Now, going into the box office for our surprise hits this summer, because they're not sequels or reboots. These are actually original productions. Barbie, based on the Mattel toy line, geared towards girls, the idea that they can grow up to be whatever they want, whether it's a doctor, lawyer, or president. And then, of course, Oppenheimer, which is about the scientist whose work contributed to the development of the atomic bomb. So let's start here. Friday midday update. Barbie is going to need a bigger dream house as the Greta Gerwig directed comedy is now looking at a second weekend of $90 million at 4,337 theaters, minus 44% for a running total of $348.3 million. It's not surprising to see a higher figure given how the Mattel doll has pulled in Marvel-like grosses of $20 million or more daily during the weekdays. Friday's looking like $28 million, minus 60% from a week ago. That second weekend for Barbie isn't that far from the $90.4 million weekend of Beauty and the Beast. Universal's Oppenheimer is seeing a second Friday of $14 million, minus 58%, and second weekend of $47 million, minus 43%, for a 10-day total of $174.8 million at 3,647 theaters. So, yeah, these movies are doing surprisingly well. Barbie had a production budget of about $100 million, and when you factor in the marketing and distribution, the total budget was probably in the ballpark of $200 million, maybe $250 million. So it's made its money back. It's made its money back and then some. So it's turned a decent profit. If it continues to do well, I mean, we could be looking at $500 million. I don't know if it'll reach the $1 billion mark, but that is not outside the realm of possibility. Now, I haven't seen the movie myself. I have heard reviews from people I trust who say that the movie really isn't all that great. I mean, it's not bad. They liked it, but they thought it was kind of shallow and rather, a typical liberal or pseudo-liberal, girl power stuff. But considering what the movie is based on, like I said, it's based on the Barbie Mattel toy line that is marketed towards young girls, and on the message that they can grow to be whatever they want. So yeah, obviously it's going to be a girl power movie. So the people calling it a man-hating super woke movie, they're spouting their usual bullshit as always. They're never not lying, unless they unintentionally let the truth slip. But the fact of the matter is, it's a pretty mid movie that got lucky because of the effect of diminishing returns. So like I said, with Disney and also with DCEU, there's franchise fatigue. People are sick of reboots and sequels and nothing but that. They're hungry for something that's new. That's somewhat a Super Mario sequel, or surprisingly the same thing. Nolan movie. Yeah, he's got like 10. Couldn't understand actors were audio was Nolan and with his movie. There's stuff that's Disney to pull their head. All right, if you want to, their all is so on the or behind this movie. The complaining about it, trying to make whatever, but pure pan. She's not doing token to right because the woke points. They are giving money, big mostly that's to LGBT and and flags on bombers and get these along with really woke slab trucked really get out of Mally or 60s Midnight Bonnie and Poitier. That's or kind of the reboots are spending $3 on a budget of like 800, where you for it to be for of a return. You your investor a hefty anymore that you're putting light bar or mediocre as grief for. It's just give me the same because they're the same stuff over and over as though it's something new or different and caters to has mass appeal beyond its previous niche audience. And the fact is, those niche audiences, might limit the market reach of your product, but that's actually a good thing, because you can maintain the integrity of the property and still make money with it, and also focus your production studio on making other stuff that will do equally as well. And even if it doesn't, you can always make it up in another area. So this whole notion of franchises, I think it's getting run into the ground. Streaming is turned into a oversaturated glut of bad writing and stuff being disappeared in order to use it as a tax write-off. Something's going to have to give, and I think the studios, I think the executives have to be pushed out. They have to be fired, blacklisted from Hollywood, and have it made clear to them, look, you will never work in this town again because you've proven that you cannot be trusted to run a major studio, because they're so focused on checking off boxes to try and to pander to demographics that you don't even really care about, and in many cases are actively hostile to, that you're not really making stuff that's truly profitable anymore. You're spending more money than you should on movies that are not bringing in the money that they need to for the money being spent. So that's the state that things are in right now. Sinead O'Connor passed away this week. That is incredibly sad. She was an incredibly talented woman whose career, I don't want to say got derailed, but it was certainly dragged through the mud. If you like what you heard and you want to hear more, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to receive notifications whenever we upload new content. Like this video, share it. If you want to help support the channel, keep the lights on, help us bring you more content, head over to our Patreon or our Ko-fi page. We can't do this without you. Until next time, this is Michael Wilk for The Wilk Report saying take care, good night, I'm out.